Legend has it, if your Lexus has an X80 sticker across the front, it'll take second in the drive.
Alright, there's more chance of an IS200 owner getting laid. Welcome to this week's episode of 427 Motorsports, where you join me in a different garage. This is the first episode in hopefully a new series on our channel where we are going to show the power of the people. The Irish car scene doesn't really have that great of a reputation both within and outside of the country, because most people see us as people who just drift twin cams and IS200s at junctions and ask way too much money for cars that aren't worth it, but that's irrelevant. We want to show to the world that the Irish people and the Irish car community is something worth sharing. So this week we are with our good friend Neil Dan, who's going to talk us through his current project, his 350Z, and he's also going to talk to us about some of his stories over the years of driving cars. Thank you very much and enjoy.
Hiya, I'm Neil Dan and this is my 350Z.
So, tell us about your first car.
My first car actually wasn't even by choice. I had a quad, a Yamaha Banshee, whenever they were worth very, very little. It was worth like £1,500.
What are they worth now? Because that to me is not very little.
£5.5 to £7,000.
Ah, okay, fair
easily.
enough.
And like that's just your bog standard, that's nothing special over here. The fella who fixes my quads and stuff back in the day in Newry, his son was looking one, so I said, right, I'll take the car, you take the quad, everything's done dusted, I'm not out the money. I'm not dealing with having to deal with dickheads texting me and ringing me, you take this, you take that, know yourself. His son had a Toyota Corolla, but not the one everyone likes. This is the old, like the bug-eyed hatchback.
The 90s rally legend.
Yep.
That Carlos Sainz threw a helmet through the boot of.
The G6.
Yeah, boy.
That kind of shape. I had myself a 1.3 16 valve. It was £3,133 to insure it for my
Jesus.
first year.
When was this?
This was all of 12 years ago.
Probably still paying that off now, right?
The tax basically had to pay for it. Your bloody EMA, this is whenever it all started. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, £40 a week, I'm loaded. Oh no, petrol. Knew nothing about cars whatsoever. Like, I put a radio in and I didn't even have the brains to get an adapter for it. I just started going like, there's a red wire and there's a red wire. And it worked. I had a friend of mine whose dad was a mechanic and he put in a set of 40mm Apex springs for me, and I thought at this point I was the dog's rod. Lovely white car and wee springs, and I got a big set of 19s that were far too wide for the car, and they rubbed off the arch on the outside and they rubbed off the suspension on the inside to a point where they actually rubbed a hole in the bottom of the strut. Like, you know the dish that the spring sits on?
Yeah.
They rubbed a hole through that.
Jesus.
I thought this was funny because I could come to roundabouts and flick the arse of this car out and I would slide around the roundabout like this. Because there was that much in the middle of the tyre that it wasn't rubbed.
Yes.
That's the only grip I had. I was going to the tack one day and I came through White Cross, or I was heading towards White Cross, and do you know where the school is, the wee primary school?
No, but
Ballamar?
neither will our viewers, so it's okay. We're on the same page.
Right, that's okay. Well, what I done was I came down flying. I'm not even going to tell lies. And
Your parents may watch this, so...
They know how fast I was going, don't you worry. And the back of the car slowly started coming out from behind me. I was like, oh, that's the hedge. And the car went up the hedge like a ramp, rolled over the road twice, and parked in the ditch on the right hand side, upside down, back to front, 4 wheels in the air like a dog looking his belly scratch. And I walked away without a scratch.
Jesus.
Not a mark.
Carlos Sainz was on your side that night. Or you had I don't know who was rallying at the time, but
there was somebody watching me. Like, from there it just sort of snowballed. I've had from there I done 3 cars in 3 years. I absolutely obliterated them.
Jesus.
It wasn't nice. And said that there's loads of cars in between, don't get me wrong. I've had my fair share of Boras and Golfs and 306s and all the
Irish staples, really.
Yeah. all the things you want to write home about. But the second one was a 1.5 non-VTEC Honda Civic. Like, do you know the nice one, the EK, the hatch?
Oh, the one nice one.
Yeah, the one nice one.
Yeah.
So again, it was white, black bonnet, black roof, set of nice wheels.
She a spoon wrap, was she?
More or less, yeah.
Nice.
She like big 5-inch jab can hanging out the back. You name it, the whole lot. It was obnoxiously loud and everything. There wasn't a box on it. Like, the jab can at the back was hollow. My brother was looking me to take him to Craigavon to get a phone for his birthday. So this was the 17th of November. This is the only way I remember this. And I came up and wanted to go around the corner, but the car did not. It wanted to go straight.
Did the VTEC kick it? Oh no, it was non-VTEC.
No, I thought, right, that's it. Hedge, front end was gone, that's it. I'm in trouble. This is going to be good fun. Out of nowhere, this blinding light came from my left hand side. There was a lorry, a DAF, I think it was, or a man. Came round the corner, full beam on, the whole lot. Big trailer, full load, you name it. And I took the whole front end out of his lorry. Wishbones, I took suspension, the whole lot. Like, the whole corner's been redone, there's been trees and barriers and all planted since, because I put the lorry into the hedge.
Jesus.
And the car hit that hard that the mirrors flopped forward, the locks closed on the inside, the doors went into the B-pillars. I was braking that hard that my brake pedal twisted underneath my accelerator and my foot got caught. So I had to take my shoe off to get out the window. I looked over and my brother's lying there, he's just... he's dead.
I was going to say, at this point,
dead.
you thought he was dead.
He's dead. And he moved. I was like, oh yes, I bet he's a fucking vegetable. So I got out and ran around the outside of the car, and again, no scratch. Ran around the outside of the car, trying to break the window, like, Dara! And he came round, and I was like, right, he's okay. I better go check this driver in the lorry. Got loads of chat out of him. Ambulances all landed, and I got breathalyzed, and fucked Daisy Hill and all the rest. And in the meantime, I rang my mum and said, Mum, I had a crash. For fuck's sake.
Again?
For fuck's sake, what'd you do? I said, I'm outside Rich Hill. Oh, for fuck's sake. I hit someone. Oh my god, you hit someone's car. I said, no, I hit a man's lorry. You hit a man's lorry.
Just repeating everything back.
I had to go out to get the ambulance. Why you get the ambulance? Bye! The third car that crashed was actually his.
Oh, that's the worst. So go on, what was it? What happened?
It was the Mark 1 Leon. It was a wee 5-door. It was a lovely grey. And we put nice coilovers in, an FK roll bar, a set of 19-inch rotiform BLQs, and they're all diamond cut on the face. It was an absolutely beautiful wee car. Called it Noel, because Leon spelled backwards as Noel.
Wow.
Riveting.
Cool story, bro.
So I says, we'll go to port on Sunday. So me and my friend Johnny, we said we'll hoover it, we'll de-tar it, we'll clay bar it, we'll have it shining like a new pin. And I left Claddy and I didn't get as far as Market Hill.
Which, for context?
4 mile?
Jesus.
4 mile. Man come behind us in his lorry. He pulled up alongside us, didn't offer any help whatsoever. Stuck his head out the window, goes, boys, that's the best thing I've seen this week. I drove on. And had to go knock his wee old boy's door and say, have you a tractor? He came to the door, wife beater, white front. Sunday morning head on him.
Trevor from Grand Theft Auto.
Exactly. Didn't put a pair of boots on him or nothing. Came white fronted out in a tree tractor to pull the car over.
What a man.
Yeah.
So, if you could tell yourself when you started with cars one thing from now with experience, what would it be?
Don't modify absolutely every car you get. Don't. We done a list before I moved out of my my friend's house. I've had 40 cars.
40? In how long?
The space, well, at that time it would have been 10 years. Not all of them are racked. Some of them were bought and
sold and so on.
Yeah, but they were all modified in between. 306 wheels, coilovers, do the back axle, every Bora set of coilovers, every Golf set of coilovers, exhaust tips straight through, tinted windows, remap, bigger turbo, injectors, all the same, carry on all the time. And I was just, get one, do it, sell it. I fancy something else. I don't want a Golf, I want a Bora, I don't want a Bora, I want a 306, I don't want a 306, I want a van. No, hang on, I want a 306 again. And do the exact thing over and over and over again. We counted it up that, for talk's sake, out of all the cars, if I spent 200 quid per set of coilovers. Do you know what I mean?
Oh God, yeah, let's not think about that.
Yeah, 200 quid, 5, not out of all 40, say 30 for talk's sake. You do your homework, like.
What is your favourite memory in a car, preferably clothes on?
That's genuinely difficult, because there's been so many experiences that have been like, not even that they're fun, it's that, you know, a wee bit of
This is happening right now, feels.
your heart skips a beat. Like, shit, we near died. I do enjoy road trips and stuff, like coming round into Portrush and the sun's coming down, the beach is there in front of you and stuff, and you're like, oh, this is a lethal moment, this is magical. For reasons best kept to myself, I will not name said person, but I was cleaning a rally car for him at one stage, and we decided we will test drive it. I had a few drinks in it because that was my payment. I didn't want any money. I just gave me carry out, leave my home. We took it around his local roads and stuff, and his mum and dad were down in the local pub, so we blew past it at about 110, 120 mile an hour, and we're trying to put on the brakes on semi-slick tyres, and it wasn't.
Which hadn't warmed up yet, I'm assuming?
No, definitely not. Like, we're only out 10 minutes, and came down, pulled the handbrake, and she's up onto the hedge like that there, and we're trying to get away, and went to pull out at this T-junction. Police down past us in a rally car, no reg, no nothing. We're absolutely roaring down the road, so it's just one of the moments. But there's been smashes and crashes, there's been near hits and misses, there's been just wee funny races and slagging and arsing about. Like even whenever I met my girlfriend, we were sitting in the van, and I always keep black cats in my car.
Black cats?
Bangers.
Oh, wow, you really are a... okay, go ahead.
So she was wondering what the hell they were. So I showed her what they were. Lit one bucked out the window down near some random field out of the way, and bang, big bump out of it. They're actually quite loud. So we got McDonald's, and we're sitting in Portadown in Iceland because all the cool kids done that.
PCP, dude.
Yeah. We sat, had our food and stuff, so her shoes and all off, she's sitting comfortable in the van, so her back against the door, she's facing me and talking to me, and I got this black cat out of the box, but I slipped the actual banger off, and I was just left with the fuse. And I was going out there back and forth about later, and she said, you're going to like that. I said, no I'm not. And I went slowly on badness to light it. And it was, oh shit, and I flicked down on the floor on the footwell on her side, reached behind her, grabbed the door handle, back flipped and rolled out of the car onto the tarmac, and this wee fuse going no bang. I only knew the girl about a week.
And she's still here.
Yeah, thanks. 6 years on, she's still here.
Nice.
So I think I've done alright. I got this car, I would say 3 or 4 months ago, and it is the best form of procrastination I've ever had in my life. I have multiple projects lying around the house, and I really shouldn't have bothered my ass, but I seen it, I wanted it, I had to get it, and I said to myself, I'm going to keep it standard and stock and reliable.
And how's that gone for you, buddy?
That went straight out the window. I had an eBay list of about 10, 15, maybe 20 items sitting before I had the car home.
Serious?
Yeah.
What were they? What were your plans in your head before you realised, I'm not made of money?
Before I realised how expensive everything in this car was, it was the normal. It was big wheels, it was coilovers, it was an induction kit, it was, I look at superchargers, I look at turbos, and I was, no, I'll not look at them because they're £5 and £6 a piece, so that quickly got pushed aside.
And how much was the car?
The car was £5.5 grand.
So you're going to spend the price of the car again on a turbo?
Yeah, and then having to get it mapped to suit and all the rest, never mind getting it installed or chancing installing it myself. So I decided strongly against that. I thought maybe, an exhaust, an induction kit and a remap will do it for now. And from there it just started to snowball to a platinum spacer. I get it professionally mapped. I also had to send the ECU to England to Horseman Developments. And
is that a link to BoJack Horseman? No.
Hope not.
It's the most depressing remappers you've ever seen.
I feel like being remapped by an alcoholic. No, it came back, and to be honest, I made a mess when the ECU came back, because whenever I either uninstalling the ECU or reinstalling the ECU, there was a second clip beside it, and I ever so slightly brushed it with my hand or my elbow or something, because as per usual with doing an ECU and the easier like in where the airbox should be, or the glove box should be, sorry.
What?
Yeah.
Like on the in the passenger bay?
Under the passenger footwell.
Actually, yeah, it's the same in the Subaru.
So it
Now
was
you
a
mention
case. It was a case of like half your back on the seat, legs touching the ceiling under the dash, like this kind of thing. You
In the two-seater sports car.
in the position. So I've hit this thing anyway, and started the car. All the lights came on. It was like a Christmas tree, and it wasn't driving right. It wouldn't idle or anything. And I had to email the boys back and forward, going something's wrong, the map's wrong, what have I done, and all the rest. And I was going to take it out and send it back to them because they asked to see it. And I just so happened to brush my hand past this clip, and it was, oh. And I popped it back in, and away she went. I was like, sorry lads, totally my fault.
At least you admitted it. There's many people who will not admit it.
I did, I held my hands up where I had to, but from there I was like, right, I'm enjoying this and all, and I started looking online, and I started seeing a lot of like GT4s and stuff, like sunset yellows and real cool blues, and in my head I'm going, well, this is just silver.
The most boring of car colours, because my Subaru was silver and I was like, I hate this so much.
So, like, initially, I don't know if you can see it, but took a wee wrap out of Tomo's book. I was going to go yellow. And then...
That's proper yellow. That's like 1990s Renault Megane Laguna BTCC yellow. Like.
Yeah, if you're going to make a statement, just do it. But then I was scrolling around through Google and Instagram and all the rest, and I just happened upon this Tiffany blue.
Tiffany blue.
Tiffany blue, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do it, that's it. So I started looking online, see if we could find any more images of Tiffany blue ones, and then it just started going Tiffany blue 350, Tiffany blue 350 slammed, Tiffany blue 350 with works wheels or Wedge wheels, and
you didn't happen to think, oh, Donut Media are currently doing a full video series on this in this colour, basically.
Yeah, I did, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to plastic dip it because that went so wrong. So I decided I'm going to wrap it. I'll chance it through. It can't be that hard. It's a big sticker.
That's it. That's all it is. Big sticker.
Big sticker. I stood behind where you are now, at that garage door, and I've never been as broken in my life. I genuinely wanted to cry. this whole garage was nearly imploded. I need to put windows through this car because I was so cross. Like, if anyone tells you wrapping's easy, they're talking crap. I have wrapped that roof 3 times and the bonnet twice, and there's still not a pick of sticker on
silver.
it. Yeah. But
how, like, what were some of the issues?
The worst of it is that the garage is cold at the minute, and what you get is these, I don't know if you can see it there, but you get wee hard lines and creases.
Yes.
Because you can't actually manipulate the wrap how you want it, because it's acting as it shouldn't, because it's like a hard piece of plastic now. So I really need in here to be like 22, 25 degrees to make this a bit more flexible and easier to...
You need to take her into the house.
I need to take it into my... I've done the skirts in the house, funny enough. I've done the skirts in the house.
How long was it before you got told off?
Oh, she's sleeping.
She doesn't know.
No, she's on the sofa, she's fine. Tucked them in, and it's trying to get like the oddest of curves done. It's trying to get...
That is a nice colour, to be fair, looking at it here.
Thank you. It's trying to get like up and over that in that angle, but then swooping that way at the same time. It's not...
And like
I know
are you classing this as a bad job? I mean, there's some like bubbles, but I mean the actual on camera, that looks damn good.
There's enough bubbles there to annoy me.
Aye, I suppose.
I'd be kind of OCD, like that there, that's really, really pissing me off. But it'll be a smart ass move, and it'll be popped with a pin and it's rubbed in. Say nothing. Who's going to know?
That one has got that first layer of dirt on it, like realistically.
No, that's a good skirt, so it's going to be a good South Armagh layer of cow shit on it.
The moment you've left your drive, that's fucked.
It'll be destroyed as soon as I leave the drive. But from there, again, it just started snowballing from, right, I'll wrap it, and I'll do a black roof, and I'll tint the headlights yellow, and I'll get stickers made up, and I'll get a sun strip made up, and I'll get a splitter, and I'll get this and that, and I've had to put my phone down. I've had to genuinely put my phone down. I can't do it.
Is this for fear of spending more money, or?
I feel bad about it because I have an MX-5 around the corner, and it was meant to be in here. all winter.
Last time I was here, it was in here.
It was in here, and this was outside under a gazebo, but the gazebo is no longer.
We'll put some pics of that in there.
Yeah. So as I said, I'm going to wrap this. We'll need this inside, and the Purway MX-5 got put outside, and a blue tarp threw over it, and just ratchet strapped around it, and blue rope, all the good stuff.
That'll not go anywhere, he said.
No, it'll not. It'll not.
Talk to us about this MX-5 then. What have you done to it?
The MX-5 was...
Because it's a bit of it's an animal of a project, really. Like, this is wee buns in comparison.
The MX-5 was a lot to chew. It started life as a 91 1.6 import, and the famous crank wobble came in. So there's like a woodruff key at the bottom in the crank that holds it in place, and long story short, the bottom crank pulley just starts to wobble like that, and then it just shits the bed. So I decided, right, I'll go to MX-5 parts in Dungannon, Cookstown even, sorry. I'll go there and get another engine sorted, but it says, do you know what, just while I'm here, I get a 1.8, they can't be that much different, it'll be fine. Little did I know they were very different.
Is that like everybody said, just stick a turbo in the Subaru already?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's that kind of job. So it ends up being that I went out, took the engine out, the gearbox out, the whole lot, and I said, well, if everything out, I'll smooth the bay. So I got rid of things I didn't want in the bay. I welded up a few patches, not that you needed any patchwork done, like there was no rust in the engine bay whatsoever. It's just wee silly things. Like I took the air conditioning out, so there's 2 holes for pipes to go through that were no longer needed.
You didn't need them to get rid of them.
And I didn't want the fuse box in the corners. The fuse box is now under the dash. The windscreen washer bottle has been relocated. The carbon canister's gone. The power steering's gone. The air conditioning's gone.
All of the creature comforts you'd want in a car. Gone.
Yeah, everything just gone. The wires are all tucked in underneath the wings.
Just a comfort delete.
Yeah, back to basics. Like, they're all too heavy. The pumps are actually sitting over there behind that shelf somewhere.
Nobody has ever said MX-5 is just too heavy. Like,
just too heavy. So when all this is being said and done, I says, right, I'll get the necessary things. I'll get it serviced, I'll get the timing done, the water pump done, and they're renowned for having the 4 cylinders, the front one being cool, hot, warm, explosive. So there's a reroute kit you can get for them. So rather than water coming in at the front and out at the front, it goes in at the front and out the back, or vice versa.
It properly cycles through.
Yeah, properly, so there's consistent heat. So as the likes of that, I got a supercharger of a mini John Works Cooper, I think.
Jesus.
An M42 or an M45 supercharger. And luckily enough, there's a bracket kit on eBay, which wasn't too bad. It was like 120 or 150 quid.
Somebody else was as insane as you and decided to put this in. Not only to do that, but to then make a kit for other people to be that mental.
Yeah, this dude just CNC or laser cuts them and just ships them out. The worst of it is everything was flat. So the likes of your air intake, you had to obviously supply your own pipe, because he doesn't know what way you're going to pipe things around or what you have and all the rest. But when the air comes out of the charger, you had to make your wee, what would you call it, adapter basically. You had to bend it into the right shape and then just weld it. So there was a minimal amount of work had to be done. But again, it just snowballed. It was meant to be a supercharger on one side of the engine and a pipe going across the front and into the manifold, and that was it. But then I decided we'll get rid of the recirculating valve, because who needs that on a supercharger? We'll put a front mount on, so that'll keep it cool. We'll put a blow-off valve on just to be sure.
A blow-off valve on a supercharger?
Yeah, why not?
What?
Why not? Got that done, and then decided we need a air-to-fuel ratio, a wideband, boost gauge, new coilovers, done the subframe and the arms, got them blasted and sealed and painted. Had airbags for it for a while, but sold them. Had a body kit ordered, but it got lost in the post.
How do you lose a body kit?
I don't know. It was a hassle. It was 3 months coming. I got a set of Borbets. 2 of them landed, damaged, and and 2 of them have yet to arrive.
Starting to think that my video of poor luck really kind of pales in comparison. Like,
Oh, it only gets better. I decided to take the side skirts off to get them filled and sanded and down and all, and make sure they're nice and clean. Just being OCD about the whole thing, and pulled one off, and I found this absolute cave in my arch. So I started poking it.
pardon?
Just
Arch?
Arch.
The
On the
arch.
inside of the sill, it was just gone. It was just an absolute gaping wound. So I lost the head and went around the other side of the car, and rather than taking the side skirt off, I just put my hand underneath it and the skirt
Just
came
ripped
off
it off.
in 3 pieces.
Oh no.
I just seen red and that was it. I was done. So again, that side wasn't just as bad, but my housemate at the time welds as a trade, so he sorted that out for no problem. We welded the inner sill, outer sill, wee bits on the arches that needed it, but it was all sealed inside and primed inside, so it should prevent it in the future. My problem is there's a whole ball of wiring needs done. I hate the side of wiring.
Really?
I hate the side of wiring. Like, we put the engine in, we put new poly mounts for the engine mounts and stuff. Like, put a short shifter on the box. Had a few drinks one night and done the timing in the
How'd that go?
Like, great. We checked it the next morning, only 2 teeth out.
Only 2 teeth. Wow.
So, in the grand scheme.
And you've had nights in the pub with more teeth than that out.
Well, we'll not get into that just yet. No, it's been relatively smooth. It's just life gets in the way, and you have other stuff to be doing. You know, like this time you have the Christmas stuff coming up, and it's too miserable to do anything. And by the time you come home, it's dark, and you get something to eat, a cup of tea, and it's like, right, it's 8 o'clock, so
Bedtime.
there's no point in coming out now. Sure, I'm going to go to bed at 11, so you just lie there and watch I'm a Celebrity or some crap on TV. Or it's just look
Or
through
427 Motorsports on YouTube.
427 Motorsports on YouTube. But you just end up just aimlessly scrolling through Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat.
Watching other people do their bills in
Yeah.
a country far away
Yeah.
where it's still hot and sunny.
Yeah, like you see these, like, it gets to the point where there's dudes in t-shirts and shorts and flip-flops, and they're wrapping a car, they're putting turbos on, they're doing big builds. Next thing you know, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and some wee Indian fella's got a stick. You know what I mean? I could have done something in my time. Maybe not dug a swimming pool in the garden, but I could have done something.
I couldn't even wrap a 350Z.
No, but honestly, this rapping has took it out of me. Like, it is genuinely soul destroying.
Yeah.
I got to the point where I come into the house and I said to my Mrs. Charlotte, I says, I'm done. I fucking give up. I'm not one to give up. I would be bitter and I would put my head down and I would argue right when I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. I will dig my heels in. But I just know I'm giving up. Can't do it. It's 250 quid worth of wrap. I don't care. I don't care. So I sat with my head for a few days. And
Still cheaper than a respray that you tried to do yourself and didn't work. So I guess you can look at it that way. And you can just peel the wrap off.
Yeah, well, peeling the wrap off's not great. I peeled a wee patch and I took a bit of paint with it at one point.
Oh, okay.
That kind of 4" by 3" ish. I wasn't happy at all with what I'd done, so I says, right, at this point now it's either get someone to spray the door that I pulled it off, or else prep it myself and fill it and then go again. Because of all the material here, I may as well use the material while I have it.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping the mic isn't picking up that crazy wind outside. Right now, oh, there's a door there. Right now in Ireland it is dark, damp and miserable and windy. So, and we are in what looks to be a Neolithic cottage building cars. So there you go. Tell us about this mattress. What is the deal here? Why is there a mattress in your garage?
This, as you can see, there's an MX-5 door and MX-5 bonnet. They're not normally here.
Mm-hmm.
I had my MX-5 at this side of the garage for a short period of time, and I spotted a cheap one in England, and I literally bought it to sell. So I bought it, took it over here, fixed it up, and to sell it. But I figured that I could get the 2 MX-5s in here if one of them's basically touching the wall. So rather than drive it into the wall, push it no brakes and no handbrake, I drove it into a mattress instead to get her stopped.
That is old school Armagh engineering. I love it.
But yeah, everything else has been grand on the build.
We'll cut to a shot of the sign now.
And since the maps came back, it's sitting around like 310, 315 if I'm being really optimistic.
Optimistic?
Optimistic,
That's
thank
the
you.
word. So, last question, Neil Dan. What is your favourite car and why? Not necessarily of cars you've owned, just what car makes you tick?
I have an awful notion for the usual sort of stuff, your usual sort of Skylines and Supras and like Mustangs and all that kind of stuff. But I would really like to have an RX-7 with a rotary, but a turbo rotary.
Okay.
Just because it's not even that it's that special or that rare. Yes, it's a hard to get car and stuff, but it's all doable. I want to know how a rotary engine works, and I want to actually piece one together and just stand back and hear it going brup, 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 and
So yeah, it's the thirst for knowledge is the reason for it.
it's just to know that you've put that together, or you've built that, or like you've learned how to Bridgeport. I didn't even know what the hell this was until I was wondering why they go brup, 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 brup.
I don't know what that is either, but okay.
Bridgeport and look that up. Just to have that old Japanese JDM styles, I'd like to have an RX-7 series to keep the pop-up headlights and not just the iconic light bar across the back. It's just something different, because yeah, there's chasers over here, there's R33s, R32s, R34s.
Everybody goes for the usuals here, really. Like.
The R35, I don't even count that as a Skyline anymore. That's just a lazy man's race car.
Technically, neither does Nissan.
No, it's just I can't have it. I wouldn't take one if you gave it to me, like. Not unless it's allowed to sell it immediately. But RX-7, if not a Supra, definitely. Or if I could do something really, really stupid, I would love a really clean Mazda MX-5, and it would be absolutely ridiculous, and I'd put in a PDIs just to annoy everybody.
Oh, that would be great. Imagine getting 60 to the gallon in a pack-wheel drive convertible.
Not even that. Imagine people going, oh, this thing's going to roar down the road and let some big pops and bangs out and stuff. And it goes, woo! So many people would be annoyed. Yeah, that's kind of where I am. That's my dream.
So Neil Dan, thank you very much for not only being in the video, but being a loyal follower of 47 Motorsports. It's been great chatting to you.
Man, thanks for coming to my dungeon.
Your dungeon.
Yeah, it's nice to be here when it's not raining, but no, thank you very much for coming, man. Appreciate it.
So, thank you very much for watching through this video. It's quite different from what we usually do, but it's what we've always wanted to do. If you'd like us to share your stories with your cars, please get in touch with me or with Connor. We would love to do a video on it. So, as ever, please feel free to subscribe to the channel and do all the stuff that all the other YouTubers bore you with and you've heard a million times over by now, so I'll not bore you with, but if you do it, that would be class. Check me out on Instagram at tamo.pattison, and of course, go and check out Connor at Hughes Corporation and our usual camera person, Chrissy, at Chrissy Ewins. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Good luck.